country, Nigeria, suffers in several departments of human endeavor, which the real estate sector is number one. As a matter of fact, I've been told, according to the Nigerian Human Rights Commission, that Nigeria suffers a deficit of over 28 million homes for its burgeoning population. And what this means is that our people are living in majority without what you can call real estate. Because when we talk about real estate in Nigeria, people think it's about renting out houses, getting agents and paying to get a house. It's a lot more than that. Real estate is the value of land and whatever is built on it. If you add the Nigerian system of real estate system to it, I think real estate for those of us on this side, politicians, is land, the house built on it, and the amount of cash kept inside the house. That is Nigeria's meaning of real estate. But it's way more than that. It is a very, very important part of life to have a roof over your head. And it's also a very important part of life to have decent accommodation for citizens in this real estate and properties. The same thing I know of Lagos and other parts of the country. And our own party, the African National Congress, and my person looked at it and said, part of Nigeria's problem is that we like inequality. And don't let us deny it, most people like luxury, Nigerians. And sometimes people prefer that their houses are unoccupied than to have a certain type of people, and especially people they consider poor people who cannot afford to live in these places. And it is also the reason why our rental system is almost criminal in nature. Why do I say so? Which is almost like a penalty. I don't call rent in Nigeria rent, it's penalty. You are penalized for being poor. Yes, that's why somebody will ask you to come and pay for a house for 3 years. If they knew that you will make it in 1 year, why would they ask you to pay for 3 years? And if you can make it in 1 year, it means that your mobility to a higher level of better housing is there. But you know, a lot of people live in these houses for 15 years. The reason why real estate is important, the work we are doing, is that real estate gives people a variety of opportunities. The moment you have it is one big asset for which you can carry out banking transactions. You can do a lot of things with it. You can use it to secure loans. You can even use it as a means of investment in life. So you see how much Nigerians have been cut off from development. I think Nigeria would have been built to one of the best standards of an African nation today, probably South Africa. In Nigeria today that you are all in Nigeria where the majority of the citizens don't go to school, don't have access to hospitals, are generally ignorant. In Nigeria where they weaponize poverty so that everybody can be whipped into line. Those powerful people will make sure, in most cases, that the real estate bills will be properly maintained because they are the ones in power. And we must enforce it such that there is no way out of it. If government must put money in real estate and housing, it must also enforce that all citizens have access to all levels of housing, so that the children of the poor can meet the children of the rich in the park. And because we must build these recreational parks in those places. And that will also ensure that everybody who has access to this kind of housing will have some level of security in their lives and assets that they can call their own. So that everybody don't belong to the rich in the country. And you know, part of the stupid things rich people do in Nigeria that makes me feel surprised all the time is Nigerian rich people love to drive nice cars, big cars. In fact, there are cars that are in Nigeria that have no business being in Nigeria, like Tesla. You know, if you don't have electricity, what are you doing with Tesla? I want broke down on the third mainland bridge or that. How are you going to push it out of here? You can't find a mechanic that will treat it. You don't have electricity to charge it. What are you doing with Tesla in Nigeria? It doesn't make sense. The second aspect of it is you buy nice cars and you stupidly forget the road upon which to drive it. Does it make sense? No. It's the same thing with housing. Somebody wants to stay in a house, just one person wants to stay in a house that could take 100 people. It doesn't make sense. You can only sleep in one bed, you use one living room, and one toilet. So, to achieve that kind of mass housing we are talking about, instead of one man taking over a street and building a house that should be a university, you understand? We should just have hotel-like buildings, take over a whole block. Build, let everybody stay in one room or 2 bedroom or 3 bedrooms, like they do in Spain. Because the interesting thing about Europe is that they don't have land, but they have houses. The interesting about Africa is that we have land, but we don't have houses. Common sense must return to governance in Nigeria. And you look at another thing rich people do is that they always think that they can escape from poor people. It's not possible. And Victoria Land and Ikoyi and Lekki tells you the story. They ran to, the first place they started was GRA Ikeja. Poor people drove them out of the place. They came to Ikoyi, poor people followed them. You know, they came to Victoria Land, they followed them there. Now they are now in Banana. Poor people have also followed them there, including village people. Because the place is always flooded. No matter how big the houses are. It's not village people, it's lack of planning, lack of common sense. That you cannot live on an island that is surrounded by water and think that it will not flood when you have no drainage systems. It's going to flood. A complex country should be the most difficult place to steal. But it is when it's development that you hear about it's complex. When it's time to steal, it's not complex. You understand what I'm saying? And that is what must change with changing leadership. Leadership that have plans and that have policies and machineries, also human resources for implementation. An opportunity for everybody to be minimally happy, not to create so much discontent that the poor man is just waiting for a small spark. You will know that they know your house. You know, because as it is, you can notice in their faces that they are like global witnesses. They are looking for the houses they will stay in when the revolution happens. It's like, I'm going to stay in the house. That one in that corner. They know it. So it's very important that there's massive investment from government. And I think it's part of the reason they created the Federal Mortgage Bank and other funding. But when you look at what is happening in those places, they are using it to take care of themselves. They don't actually build houses. So when I'm saying that I want to build houses for Nigerians, it is because I know it is possible. But to those who don't want it to happen, it's an impossibility. Are you getting my point? It's an impossibility for a country where a few people control the market for cement, they control iron. There are people in this country who are builders. If they are not in the right places, if they import things, they will not let them clear it from the port. That's the nature of Nigeria. There are people who bring in stuff. If you are not in the right tribe, let's be honest, they will not let you the thing to be cleared from the port until it's spoiled. But if you are in the right tribe, the right club, you get your things done the proper way to make sure that citizens have access to things that they desire. We cannot afford to make the mistake again in 2023 of people who have the same mindset or those who have been indicted in the impoverization of the Nigerian people. They did it on purpose. They made us poor on purpose.